if you have just 10 days to prepare for your NCLEX exam and you have to pick just one app, I'm going to recommend UWorld. Now, this is not to say that other apps are not good. There are people that have studied and passed with other apps, but for me, given my circumstances and given that I had just a very short period of time to prepare for the NCLEX exam, UWorld was the most beneficial to me. In this video, I'm going to be telling you guys exactly why I'm picking UWorld, and I'm also going to be showing you guys a breakdown of my scores when I did the practice test in UWorld, because a lot of people stress over getting the perfect score. They want to get like a certain percentage when they're answering questions on the UWorld app so that they can mentally prepare themselves and say, okay, if I'm getting maybe 70%, 80%, then I'm ready to take the NCLEX. But guys, it doesn't work like that, and I'm going to be showing you guys proof that you don't have to restrict yourself to that mindset. So I'm just going to quickly pause this video right here, because during editing I realized that I forgot to mention this part, and this is the performance report for the readiness assessment test I took in the UWorld app. Now, you guys know that UWorld actually gives you like 1 or 2 readiness assessment tests just to test your chances of passing the NCLEX exam. And this test, I actually did it a day before my real NCLEX exam. And you can see out of 100 questions that were given to me, I had just 52 correct answers, 46 incorrect, and I omitted 2. Not sure how that happened, but this is the performance report. And you can see also that UWorld said I had a borderline chance of passing the real NCLEX exam. Now, if you study this table further, you'll see that it's broken down into subject name and then system name. All this is going to be on the screen anyway, so you can take a look at this. What is my aim of actually saying this? I'm just trying to let you guys know that even though UWorld says you have a borderline chance of passing, or UWorld says you are going to fail the NCLEX exam, don't pay too much attention to all these stats. Like, don't pay too much attention, don't give it that importance, because guys, when I saw this I was actually kind of demoralized, because my exam was the next day. It's not like I could postpone the exam and say, oh wait, I need to study more. I could not do that. I had 2 readiness assessment tests, but I only did this one, and I did not even bother to do the second one, because I was like, you know what, you're not going to mess with my head. I'm ready for the exam. I'm going to go and do the exam, and anyhow I see it, I'll take it like that. So anyway, let's go back to the real video. UWorld has over 2,000 practice questions, but guys, I didn't even finish the entire question bank. I used just a little bit above 50%, and I still passed with 75 questions. This is just to say that the aim is not to answer the entire questions in the question bank, but to improve your test taking skills. Once you master this skill, it's going to be easy for you to get a question right, whether you know the answer to the question or not. Now, I'm going to show you guys my question stats when I used the UWorld. I'm going to put this information on the screen as well, so you can see proof that you don't have to use the entire question bank. According to UWorld and according to the questions I answered, right, I had about 647 questions right and 503 questions wrong, and then I omitted 10. That is going to make it, if you total everything, that is 1,160 questions. So out of 2,000 questions in the question bank, I only answered 1,160 questions. And if you even look down, you'll see that I only created 20 tests and I completed just 19 tests. UWorld taught me how to apply critical thinking to questions. It didn't just teach me how to pass the test, it taught me how to think like the test. Now let's do a quick exercise. So I'm going to ask you a typical NCLEX style question. It's actually a very easy question. If you know the answer to this question, leave it in the comment section below. Even if you don't know the answer, still leave your guesses in the comment section below. And if you watch this video to the end, I can promise you that you will know exactly what the answer is, even though you thought you didn't know the answer. Okay, read with me. The nurse is teaching a group of staff nurses about standard precautions. Which statement by a nurse requires correction? A. I will wash my hands before and after contact with patients. B. I will wear gloves when touching blood or body fluids. C. I will always wear a gown when entering a patient's room. D. I will dispose of sharps in a puncture-proof container. We're going to come back to this question later. Now, another thing I'm going to say is take note of the performance tracker in UWorld. UWorld has this thing where it breaks down the way you answer questions. I'm going to show you guys a breakdown of my scores when I practiced with the UWorld app. This is my performance report, right? You can see that it breaks it down into subject areas: adult health, child health, critical care, fundamentals, leadership and management, maternal and newborn health, mental health and pharmacology. And you'll see, if you study this table very well, you can actually pause this video here or maybe come back and rewatch it. You can see that it will show you exactly how many questions you got correct, how many you got incorrect, and how many you omitted, and then your rank as well. You want to pay attention to this table so you can strategize on how to use the app to your advantage. Now, apart from the subject, it breaks it down further to show the systems. Let's say, for example, analgesics, antepartum, and assignment and delegation, basic care and comfort, cardiovascular. You see that in adult health, it has broken it down to like different sections, like cardiovascular, what else again? Anyway, I'm going to leave this table in the screen, okay? Let's not use this to prolong this video. But this is another good advantage of using the UWorld app. By the time you go through the table and then you're able to look at your weak areas, you know that, oh, this is the side I'm struggling with, this is the side I'm good at. You can actually select questions based on your weak areas when you are using the UWorld app to do your next practice test. So by the time you keep on doing that, you see that you are building up on those parts that you think are your weakest links, so that by the time you are done with practicing, you have a well-rounded knowledge about all the topics that will be covered in the NCLEX exam. UWorld has a tutor mode and a timed mode. With the tutor mode, it gives you rationales to the questions you answer, whether you get them right or wrong. And this is like the best thing to using the UWorld app, because the rationales are like mini sessions. So even if you get a question right, but you guessed that answer and you were thinking, oh, maybe it's this one, but miraculously you got it right, you can still read the rationales and reassure yourself the reason why that answer is right. And if you got the answer wrong, just reading the rationales, you'll be able to like brush up on your knowledge about that topic, so that when next you get a question on that topic, you will already have this background knowledge from reading the rationales. That is why I say that with UWorld, the aim is not to finish the entire question banks, but concentrate on the rationales. If you are going to take anything from this video, take this one. If you are using the UWorld app to practice for your NCLEX, please take note of the rationales. Don't just read through it, browse through it, and be like, oh, I'm just going to quickly do this and go to the next question. No, take your time and read through that rationale very well. There are times that it takes me like maybe 30 minutes to go through 5 or 10 questions. That is because I want to actually read and understand the rationales before I move forward to the next question, and you should be doing that too. So that is the good thing about the tutor mode. So with the tutor mode, you can do like 75 questions, 150 questions, and get feedback immediately when answering the questions. After you've done the tutor mode for some time, then start doing the timed mode. The timed mode is for you to build your endurance, because there are times that you can be in the NCLEX exam and maybe your questions did not even end at 75. Maybe it goes up to like 145. You don't want to be at that point where you get to 75 or you get to 85 and you're already tired and you're already thinking, when will this end? And then you start getting wrong answers. No, use the timed mode so you can build your endurance as well. Another thing is that the UWorld questions are actually more difficult than the questions in the NCLEX exam. Now, some people will say, oh, but why is it like that? Actually, for me, I think it's a good thing, because I feel like it would be better for me to answer difficult questions when I'm practicing than for me to go and meet difficult questions in the exams. And guys, let me tell you, the more you keep answering UWorld questions, the more you start taking note of keywords and clues. Like UWorld taught me that there is something called absolute statement. So words like always, never, must, only, whenever you see those kind of words in a question or in an answer, just know that that answer is wrong. Now let's go back to that question at the start of the video. Have you guys left your answers in the comment section? If you've not left your answer yet, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to do that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's put back that question up in the screen again and let's see. The nurse is teaching a group of staff nurses about standard precautions. Which statement by a nurse requires correction? A. I will wash my hands before and after contact with patients. B. I will wear gloves when touching blood or body fluids. C. I will always wear a gown when entering a patient's room. D. I will dispose of sharps in a puncture-proof container. Who got the answer right? Okay, so the answer here is C. And why is C the correct answer? That is because you don't always wear a gown. The presence of that absolute word always in that statement makes it wrong. That is because with NCLEX, they want you to use your critical thinking, they want you to analyze the question. There is no absolute at all in the NCLEX. So you have to really analyze the questions, use your clinical knowledge, clinical judgment to arrive at the right answer. Another thing that UWorld taught me to be good at is answering SATA questions. You know those select all that applies, nobody likes them. I didn't really like them actually, but with UWorld, imagine answering like 10, 20 SATAs in a row. By the time you get the SATA questions in the re-exam, it looks like I'm used to it. So with SATAs, UWorld taught me to interpret the question as a true or false statement. No, maybe. If you read a question and out of the answer you are thinking, maybe this is the answer, maybe that is the answer, that is the wrong answer. If you are not sure that that is the answer, that is the wrong answer. Now, another thing is elimination strategies. UWorld will teach you how to eliminate answers to arrive at the correct answer. Now, the thing with NCLEX, I know a lot of you guys know this, but let me just say this. The thing with NCLEX is that NCLEX uses a CAT method, right? A CAT mode for testing candidates. This means that when you get your first question, if you answer that question right, the number 2 question will be a little bit difficult than the number 1 question. If you get that number 1 question wrong, the number 2 question will be a little bit easier than the first question. Now, if you keep getting difficult questions in the NCLEX exam, it means that you are doing something right. If you answer questions that are very easy and you feel like anybody can answer that question, you're doing something very wrong. If you guys have not seen my story time video yet, I'm going to leave it up there so you can see, because guys, when I was actually doing the re-NCLEX exam, I thought I was failing because I was getting difficult questions, and now I know that that is actually a good thing. Now, another thing I'm going to say is that when you are doing the practice test, aim for like 75 to 150 questions a day. For me, I took questions in the morning when my brain was still fresh. I was not thinking of anything. I wake up in the morning, I start with 75 questions, I work my way through it, and if I see that, oh, I'm going too fast, or I'm not getting the concept, I'm not understanding rationales, I take a break, do other stuff and come back. The only thing I did not do is do practice questions at night, because at that time I was already drained, I'm tired, I want to sleep, and I know that I'm not going to assimilate anything I'm reading, so I didn't do any practice questions at night. And also, when I booked my NCLEX exam, I booked it in the morning. I think my exam was around 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. That was because I felt like my brain was already used to answering questions early in the morning, so I just wanted to go to the exam and let my brain think that, look, you are at home, no pressure, you are just answering questions like you've always answered questions before. So I think that that helped. Well, it may not always be like that anyway, but guys, if you've watched this video to this point and you've not watched the first video I made about how to use the study material to actually study for the NCLEX exam, then I'm going to leave the link there. Please do well and watch that video as well. It's packed with a lot of information. And guys, I'm going to see you in my next video. Remember guys, you don't have to feel the pressure of passing the NCLEX with 75 questions. You don't have to pass it with 75, 85 questions. You can get to like 145 questions. You can exhaust the entire time for the NCLEX. The only thing you should be concerned about is passing and getting your license. So don't be under that pressure of, oh, everybody's passing with 75 questions, everybody's passing with 85 questions. No. Don't even let that disturb you at all. So guys, thank you for watching this video to this point. I love you guys. I'll see you in my next video. Until next time, stay fabulous. Bye.